One thing we've really loved is just kind of how Maxim helps us to really democratize the process of writing prompts. So it empowers both product, which is the role I'm in, as well as our design teams to really own the process. So it's really accelerated both the speed at which we iterate, but also the quality of the outputs. Science is a sleep platform. So essentially what we try to do is help people understand the root cause of their sleep and energy issues. Previously, when we were initially getting started with using AI, evaluating our outputs was really manual. It was really time consuming. We didn't really have a good systematic process for writing evaluators. We were even kind of having a hard time getting the outputs out in a systematic way to be
Right.
able to evaluate them both proactively before we launched anything as well as retroactively once things were in production. As we started to run into some of the roadblocks, we ended up migrating over to Maxim, and it primarily powers our AI coaching tier. So it helps us build, test version prompts. We can evaluate outputs, we track our production logs, and we also use it to manage our centralized knowledge base through prompt partial. So typically we start at the prompt level. And so we'll start writing instructions. And then because we've invested a lot in the partials, we can reuse a lot of those material. We'll write evaluators so we can quickly see how new versions are performing, evaluate the outputs, and then continue to tweak from there. And then we'll actually start to test it at scale. So we'll use a bunch of different inputs, different user types, and then start to see how those are performing on various prompts, and then kind of deploy track logs and then everything else from there. I think the first one is just investing in evaluation infrastructure early. That was, I think, something that we kind of came to realize how important it was,
Right.
and where Maxim has been really helpful. I would recommend kind of evaluating your outputs from day one, and just saves you a lot of headaches as you try to scale. Also, in kind of that centralized knowledge base, it saves us a lot of times on prompts where we're able to reuse partials and kind of have a lot of consistency across various prompts we're using. One thing we've really loved is just kind of how Maxim helps us to really democratize the process of writing prompts. So it empowers both product, which is the role I'm in, as well as our design teams to really own the process. So we can compare versions, compare models, test various hypotheses for what's going to
Yeah.
drive the outputs we want, and just kind of continuously improve things from there. So it's really accelerated both the speed at which we iterate, but also the quality of the output. So I would highly recommend making actually prompt engineering a
Right.
product skill, and just kind of really start to practice that versus having it purely be a developer responsibility. Just
Right.
because kind of that team effort can drive better outputs.